Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. This is Mahadev the Thunder Wizard. Solar Flash Update, July 28th, 2023. We now live in a time where mainstream news, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, Fox News, admit that aliens exist and in fact want you to believe that. Your mainstream news is wanting to convince you that aliens in fact exist. The congressional UFO hearings actually, even though they are masquerading as disclosure, and there's even words of government transparency. This is one of the phrases that is broadcast on mainstream news. In fact, these UFO hearings are deep state propaganda. Everything is going exactly as has been planned for decades. And the point of these UFO hearings is not to disclose any hidden knowledge the government might have, but to get you to believe in aliens and to have fear of them. As time continues to go on, the President of the United States, his family, is becoming more and more exposed for corruption. As you know, Biden has been accused of taking millions of dollars in bribes from Ukraine energy companies, which would mean that Biden himself would have an agenda to not only start, but to continue having the war go on in Ukraine against Russia. And so the question about the solar flash, is it coming in September? And is this the calm before the storm? Welcome back to the channel. This is Mahadev the Thunder Wizard. And on this channel, what I do is I give you practical tools to help you evolve. So please do me a favor and take a look at all of the links here. What has been talked about, what I believe is happening, what a lot of people have been talking about for longer than I have, much longer than I have, is the understanding that our Earth is going through a massive ascension process. And during that process, the first thing that happens just before the world really begins to shift and evolve into a brand new vibration is that all of the lies that have gone on under the surface in terms of government, in terms of society, is going to be brought out for everyone to see. And again, you have to take into consideration the absolute preposterous nature. It's preposterous not because it's not true, but because it's just so unbelievable that mainstream MSNBC, CBS, NBC news, the nightly news, wants to not only talk about UFOs and aliens, but are going out of their way to convince you that aliens exist. That is so strict. I mean, that wouldn't have happened in any time period unless you were watching a science fiction movie. So we're living a science fiction movie. So if you acknowledge the reality that everybody is wanting to talk about UFOs and aliens existing, and the narrative, the government narrative, as well as the cultural narrative, is let's all accept that aliens exist, that extraterrestrial non-human beings are flying to Earth. That is the conversation that not is just going on, it's probably going on far less in people's normal lives. People probably don't care as much as the government wants you to care. But the fact that this is being shoved down your throat by the powers that be is pretty phenomenal. So we have to ask the question why. We have to take a look at that. But before we get into that, I just want to acknowledge how unbelievably preposterous it is that this is our waking reality, that this is the discussion. So this goes right along with the predictions that just before there is a massive shift in consciousness, that there is going to be all kinds of crazy things going on in terms of government, in terms of society, in terms of culture, in terms of, all of that. So it is my belief that the solar flash is in fact happening as we speak. The solar flash is not the best term to use. I believe solar wave is better. As you know, if you've read my books, Interdimensional Revolution and Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth, about a year ago, before anybody was talking about aliens, barely talking about it on the news, I had numerous experiences with extraterrestrial intelligences who told me that there was going to be an event that was going to be seen worldwide, and that everybody on Earth would be able to look in the sky and see it, and as a result of that, that would result in a massive change, a massive shift. Exactly what, I didn't know. So I asked, I said, what is this going to be? Is it going to be fleets of spaceships surrounding Earth? And what I was told is no. There's going to be a series of solar waves that are going to hit the Earth and are going to shift the vibration of all consciousness up to the next level. The real question is, what does that mean? What does that mean? I have not gotten the complete answer of that yet. And there are a few different possibilities which we will talk about before this video is over. So before I get into what these government hearings are really about, because they're not what they appear to be. What you are being led to believe is that the government is being forced, that the military, the Pentagon, is being forced by Congress to be transparent and reveal the secrets about UFOs and aliens, and that is a lie. You are being manipulated. What is happening in these UFO hearings has been planned. It has been planned this way. And I'll tell you exactly what you're supposed to think and what is really going to happen if the powers that be are allowed to do what they want. Before I do that, I have to tell you that this channel isn't about listening to me talk. This channel is about doing actions that will shift you, that will give you the ability to not only be aware of this dynamic shift as it happens, but give you the ability to choose to shift up to the next level. There is a very real possibility that what is going to happen is that you will be given a choice. You will be given a choice by the universe. If you believe in God, you can say God will give you a choice. You will be given a choice to make the decision to shift to a higher level of awareness, which will in fact create a completely different reality. Or you may be given a choice to decide to stay in reality as you understand it now. In which case, the world as you know it will continue to be as it is, and it will continue to get even more. We could say it could even get worse. This is something that you have to decide. But in order to shift up, this shift is a shift of frequency. So that means your frequency has to shift. In order to change your frequency, this is done through actions. It's not done by sitting around thinking. Because there is going to be a lot of resistance within your own mind, within your own body, within your own frequency. Because the truth is, we don't change unless we absolutely have to. So without your knowledge, without your awareness, the shift is going to be challenging, perhaps. So in order to do that, there are things you can do to begin to shift your vibration. You can begin to start making that shift now. That's what the 90-day challenge is all about. Go click on that link. We'll talk about it more. Courses.thunderwizard.com, all of the other things that I teach that are available, all of the free meditations on this channel. There's interdimensional meditations that are guided for free. You can get the advanced ones at thunderwizard.com. And there's meditations and qigong and energy work which you can do for free. But my suggestion is to take this seriously, and if you get real serious about it, I would go up here and subscribe. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe whenever you want. My books, of course, thank you to those of you who have followed my request. People have been buying my books, Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth and Interdimensional Revolution, but people haven't been leaving reviews. So what ended up happening is one of my longtime haters bought the book and then trashed it, and that was the only written review. So I asked you, if you've bought the book, write a review. The other thing I want you to do is when you see reviews, you will see helpful or unhelpful. So if you agree with any review, click helpful, because that pushes it up. Because right now the one review that people see is me being trashed by some angry troll. So when you leave your review, also go and click helpful on the reviews that you agree with. That will help get this information out. Now let's get to why my books are so important. Not just because by the way, I don't make squat for money off of books. I would have to sell hundreds of thousands of copies for me to even see any money coming out of it. So people accusing me of, trying to sell a book and make money. Yeah, I mean, if I were to live just on the money I made from books, I'd be homeless. So this is about getting information into people's minds, because your reality and the powers that be are not telling you the truth. So let's take a look at it. So why is mainstream news admitting that aliens exist and wanting you to believe that aliens exist? Now, there was a time, I realize now looking back in hindsight, that mainstream news has always been a tool for the elite and the powers that be, but much less so than it is now. There was a time when news organizations were privately owned and competed with each other for ratings, and one of the ways that they would, one news station or one newspaper or one news organization would, get popular is to ask the hard questions and reveal, all kinds of scandals and how you're being lied to by the powers that be. And that hasn't happened for a very long time, but now mainstream news is pretending to be that again. And they're asking the hard questions. They're forcing the Pentagon to be transparent. So they're asking questions like, have you seen UFOs? Yes. Were you threatened to not reveal the existence of UFOs? Yes. Do you believe that UFOs are a national security threat? Yes. Why is that? Well, the technology that I have as an Air Force pilot is such that I can't come anywhere near the technology of these UFOs. Oh my gosh, so there's a threat. They're a military threat. Yes, we would not be able to defend ourselves from these UFOs. All right, now let's ask the harder questions. Do you believe that the government has recovered alien bodies of non-human origin? Yes, I know for a fact that they do. And I have been told not to reveal this, and I'm revealing. So the narrative is that somehow, out of nowhere, the mainstream news organizations are now working to get the truth to you, and they're trying to force the government to reveal the truth, and it works. And to my surprise, as you know, I'm a contactee of extraterrestrials. I've been contacted more times than I would even be able to count. I've communicated and interacted with them over the past year and few months. Again, hundreds, thousands of times. I don't even know how many times it's been. So I can tell you that these beings exist. But when I go on to Facebook groups of people who supposedly are interested in human-initiated contact, they are buying this propaganda hook, line, and sinker. And they are saying, it's happening. You know, the government is being forced to reveal the truth. It's now the dominoes are going to fall. And I'm here to tell you, this is exactly how the propaganda has been set up. This is exactly how you are supposed to be reacting. Because the narrative has never been, from the beginning, the truth has never been that the whistleblowers of, by the way, there aren't just 3, because you've seen 3 on the news. There's actually close to 1,000 of military whistleblowers, as well as people within the technology defense contractor population, who want to come out about the lies of the military about UFOs, but they're not here to tell you that there's a secret UFO retrieval program. That is made up. That has never been what this is about. And if you want to know what it's about, I've left a couple of links if you haven't seen them already, and I've put a new one in. In the new one, there's a new link I got in there from somebody from, I believe, Raytheon, who worked down in Antarctica. And according to him, he says that this multinational deep state corporate military unacknowledged program has not only faster than the speed of light communication system, and that we humans already have fleets of spaceships out to the edge of our solar system, but that there's also weapons that go faster than the speed of light that can be used to destroy other spaceships. This weapon apparently was accidentally turned on and caused earthquakes in New Zealand. And he makes an even more amazing, frightening, very frightening accusation, which is, he says that these people have psychological weapons where they can send telepathic messages to your brain. Not only send messages, but continuous broadcasting of messages into your brain, so that you think your mind is telling you something. Because this is how telepathy works. When you have a telepathic message from wherever it comes, when it comes into your mind, you hear your own voice. You hear your own voice having a thought, and it feels like you're having a thought. And the best way for me to describe it is, there's this, when I had an injury to my shoulder, and I wanted to help heal it, there's this thing called a TENS machine, TENS machine, which is basically, you put some electrical shocks into the muscle, and the muscle twitches, the muscle contracts. But the interesting thing is that, and you can turn it up and it'll go, but what the interesting thing is, when it starts to happen, your first instinct is that you are doing it. You actually feel as though you are tensing your muscle. until you realize, no, I just pushed a button. But your first feeling is your body telling you that you're choosing to tense your muscle. And that is what happens when you have a telepathic message. When you have a telepathic message, what happens is your brain and your voice begins to have a thought, but it's like a muscle contraction. It feels as though you are thinking it, unless it's something that is just completely contrary. So people under the influence of such a weapon would have thoughts about whatever it was that was being put into their brain, and they would think it was their mind doing it, and they might start to wonder, why am I thinking this way? Why do I have this overwhelming impulse to do this or to buy that? So that's very frightening. So that means that they are able to mimic the kinds of interactions that can go on between actual higher dimensional beings. And so that means that the powers that be can pretend to be whatever they want, make you think that you're either having your own thoughts, or maybe they can fake an extraterrestrial or a spiritual experience. And it makes me wonder about, one of the interesting things that's happened is that a lot of celebrities, one thing I've noticed about a lot of really, really popular celebrities is that at some point, most of them lose their mind. They go bonkers. And they start doing really crazy, stupid things and saying really crazy, stupid things. And it makes you wonder about people, people who have started out talking against the powers that be, and then they go crazy. Makes you wonder. It makes me wonder about the unbelievable weather situations that are going on in the United States. And my entire life, I've never seen so much crazy weather. I've never seen so much. You got everything. You got heat waves. You've got storms, flooding, tornadoes. I'm willing to bet there's going to be major hurricanes again. Last year, I was living in Florida and I survived 2 hurricanes back to back. The first one was the largest, it covered the whole state of Florida, as well as the most powerful, the most destructive hurricane in recorded history. And then right after that, there was another hurricane that hit. So, something's either we really are having, global warming. I'm not against that concept. But I also know that I believe that there are technologies that could potentially create that. We already know. Somebody came onto the channel, a new person, and accused me of, saying crazy things when I was telling you well-known truth that the powers that be are very proud of. The government is proud of this. Jeff Bezos is proud of this. Bill Gates is proud of this. That there has been a project to put sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere to block out the sun. And I talked about that, and somebody said I was a conspiracy theorist. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That's not something that the establishment would deny. No, they've been proudly saying it for years. This is what they plan on doing. Plan on blocking out the sun. So when you got all this kind of crazy stuff going on, it's really hard, for me now to just think there isn't some hand behind all of this. There isn't somebody behind it pulling the strings. But definitely when it comes to these government hearings about UAPs, this is not something, the government doesn't have their back up against the wall. The Pentagon doesn't have their back up against the wall. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is that the real whistleblowers, like the one that I told you about, who are actually asking behind the scenes, these same Congress people who are on camera on mainstream media asking questions like, are these UFOs dangerous and a threat to our security? And do you know if alien bodies exist in government vaults? These same senators and Congress people know that there are about 1,000 whistleblowers who aren't saying that. They're saying something completely different, and they want to come forward, but they've been threatened. Their lives have been threatened, and they are asking the Congress to give them protection, because they can't come forward or they're going to get killed or their family's going to get killed, blah, blah, blah. So it's it is offensive to me when I know that there are people who really are putting themselves at risk, who are asking for protection. You got this David Grush guy who, in my opinion, I can't prove it, but in my opinion, I believe he is absolutely a deep state misinformation plant who says, oh yeah, I have to be careful. And yet he's being thrown up, plastered all over mainstream media. He says that aliens are out to kill people and that they're a threat. And so what's going to happen is that the powers that be, the Pentagon, is going to pretend they're going to protest. And and these so-called, Congress people are going to say, we demand that you tell us the truth, and the Pentagon's going to go, oh, no, we're not going to give you any information. Oh, all right, okay. All right, and here's what they're going to say. They're going to say, yes, it's true, we found alien bodies. They'll tell the truth. We found alien bodies from crashed UFOs, but they won't tell you that they themselves actually shot the UFOs down. We've got these bodies, and yes, we've been studying it, we've been finding out, and we've been watching all of these UFOs, but we didn't want to cause panic because they are so much more powerful than we are, and they could take over the world, and we just didn't want to frighten you. But yes, now that, you put a little bit of pressure on us and you're the Congress, and yes, we'll tell you the truth. Aliens are trying to invade and they want to kill you all, and we need to protect you. So we're going to unite the whole world under one military banner, and we are going to reverse engineer this technology to protect you if we all come together as one, and then this will be the end. This is their final card that they're going to present to the world. So do not be lulled into some kind of feeling that, yeah, see, now there's some disclosure. There is zero disclosure going on. Because the disclosure that would need to come out would be that for 100 years, there has been human developed, just because human beings have access to the laws of physics just like other civilizations do. There has been that combined with reverse engineering of craft that have been shot down by humans, and that they have far more spaceships of every single possible variety that you can imagine, going faster than the speed of light, going through wormholes, laser beam, the truth. Not that they themselves have UFOs. That the vast majority of UFOs you see, like Tic Tacs and the big flying Vs and the giant, pyramids flying around, that the majority of those are human-made. And the majority of those have devastating military potential. That part you're not going to hear. You're going to be convinced into believing that it's all coming from outer space, from sociopathic aliens who don't understand humans and don't relate to humans and don't empathize with humans. And then you're going to be told that that's what was going on with all of the abductions that went on, especially back in the 80s. You're going to be lied to, but it's going to be presented to you as though the Pentagon is revealing the truth when they're not. And this has been the plan from the beginning. What you see playing out in those government hearings is the playbook, the narrative that was written decades ago, way back in the 50s. If you want to learn more, click on the links that I put in the description about what is really going on. All right. So Biden's corruption, again, it's just mind blowing to me to see what is going on the level of government. Just 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, if you had asked me what I thought of Joe Biden, I would have said, well, he's a career politician, but he seems like a pretty good guy. And although I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, I'd go a lot farther than he wants to go. But I think for the most part, he's a pretty good guy. I'm just blown away now to see that he has potentially been given, $10 million, that he blackmailed oligarchs in Ukraine that own an energy company. He blackmailed them out of $10 million. And if that's the case, it means this entire Ukraine war could have been prevented. And if you look at it, Russia has been trying for years. And, I just learned this the other day from RFK Jr., who's running for president, who said that, there were 2 treaties on the table years ago that Russia had signed and Ukraine had signed. And guess who nuked it? The United States. The United States came in and nuked the treaties. There were certain things that Russia wanted for its own self-defense, and there were certain things that Ukraine wanted, and Russia and Ukraine had come to an agreement, and it was nuked twice by the U.S., which means this war was started by the U.S. and has been protracted by the U.S. And you've been fed a lie that it was Russia that started this war. And if you understand why Russia wants to not have Ukraine be a part of NATO, whatever else is going on, whatever other imperfect things are going on, you'll understand why they did that. And now they're completely surrounded. They're surrounded now that Sweden and Finland have joined NATO. Russia's completely surrounded. Same thing going on in China. China's supposedly doing these aggressive things against the U.S., except you're not being told that the U.S. Ships and planes that are being, buzzed by Chinese military are happening right off of Chinese military shores. We are going out there doing military exercises literally right offshore of China. That China is surrounded by U.S. bases, that there are missiles pointing at China from all sides. And you've got, again, CBS saying a few weeks ago, yep, we're going to go to war with China in 2 years. And a 3-star general says we can beat them. And, oh, by the way, are you going to buy a new car? Now's the time to buy a new car. You are being set up for World War III. You put all of this together, combining with what's going on in Hollywood. Hollywood is losing its pants over this child trafficking ring and all kinds of the Oprah Winfrey, is being revealed as some, just really corrupt, person making. It's just crazy what's happening. The whole world is getting turned on its head, and we're seeing the nasty underbelly of what is really going on. And I think this is just the beginning. I think more of this stuff is going to be revealed, and all of this only supports what has been predicted for a while, which is that the elites and the power of the elites is going to be completely destroyed. And the only thing that I see as a problem is, how frightened are they? Because, the most frightening animal, even an injured one, is one that's got its back up against the wall. That's when they do the most damage. That's when they've got nothing left to lose. So it is my belief that we are in a fulcrum period. Everything is teetering, and it can go one way or another. And the only thing that can help us prevent having this completely blow up and turn into an Armageddon situation, or have it be a smooth transition, is our consciousness level. And so there is no more time to screw around. If you have victim mentality, if you have emotional, psychological pain, if you have anger, if you feel depressed and you can't function, now's the time to do the work to shift that. So I welcome everybody to watch my videos about the 12 steps to shift to 5D, because in my opinion and experience and observation, the 12 steps are by far the most powerful method of psychological self-transformation in the history of the human race. And I believe, in fact, the 12 steps are going to be, the principles of that is going to be how people will function in the new reality. So you're going to have to take a look at what you've done within yourself to create the reality that you experience. And we need to be doing everything in our power to be meditating and imagining what our soul wants. And so in order to do that, we got to do the work to get rid of all of the self-devaluation, all of the anger, all of the hatred, all of the fear, all of the victim mentality. We've got to get rid of that. And so I give you actions to do that. And the most powerful technology that I can give you to do that is up here at thunderwizard.com. Subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong if you want that. I also recommend that you take a look at my books, Interdimensional Revolution and Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth, which you can find on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. You can also go just type my name in, Michael William Denny, into Amazon, and you'll see my books come up and my page come up for my books. So that's it. If you want astrological reading or rune reading, or or if you want to get certified in some of the things that I do and teach, you can go here to courses.thunderwizard.com to see what's available. All right, and again, free interdimensional meditation. If you don't do anything, do me a favor, do this one thing. Go on to my channel page, go to the playlist, and do one of the guided interdimensional meditations. Connect to higher dimensional realms so that you know what is the universe is really like. And I talk a lot about the difference between the third dimension and the fifth dimension in other videos, as well as in my books. I won't take up the time to do that now, but having that understanding will give you protection against the lies and the propaganda that is coming at you right now. All right, with that, if you are subscribed to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong and you have a question, I would love to hear from you. If you're not subscribed, unfortunately, I'm not going to answer any questions, because I've found out, after so many years that unless you're doing the practices, your questions really can be answered by any number of my books or videos. And usually it means that you're not really understanding. So spend more time watching the channel and doing the practices, then your questions will actually be relevant to me and will make me want to help you. So having said that, let me see if there's any subscribers who have asked any questions. Let's see here. Nope. Timothy Zoll has an honest feeling. I'm happy I just passed a 30-year milestone and took a chip. So, wow, that's 3 decades. That's very impressive. Congratulations. All right, is that it? I guess nothing else. All right, guys, you know the deal. You know where to go. Thunderwizard.com. If you want the most powerful energy meditation in history that works with Chi, life force energy, Kundalini, which is the energy of fifth dimensional consciousness in the spinal column, and the lightning energy of the heart, which up until now has never been publicly revealed. I'm the first person to combine all 3 of these energies in one practice. I guarantee you, if you just go up here and subscribe, by the way, it's easier now than it's ever been to find all of the Lightning Qigong videos. You see when you subscribe, you see those boxes down there. It says Lightning Qigong and 90 Day. You can just click on Lightning Qigong and do all of the videos that come up. It's easier than ever to do it. I guarantee if you do it that things will happen. You will shift and you will change. And the powers that are beyond our dimensional awareness, you can call them higher dimensional beings, you can call them spirit guides, you can call them angels, you can call them the ancestors, you can call them whatever you want. These beings are actually extremely, extremely, extremely interested in helping you, but you have to ask for help. You can't do that if you don't learn how to turn on your pineal gland and be able to, in a meditative way, connect. I teach you how to do that. It's not impossible to do, and I've given you all the ways that you can figure out how to do that. So make use of all of these things that I give you. It's the most important thing I've ever done, is to give these technologies to people. So please make use of it. If you appreciate this channel, the best way you can do that is do either the free stuff or log on and do the follow specific guided instructions on how to do that. All right, that's it. Nothing else. I wish you guys all the best. Thank you so much for showing up, and keep your eyes peeled because things are going to start heating up. You know, these hearings are just the tip of the iceberg, and things are going to start heating up in a lot of different ways. And if you see anything on the mainstream news that frightens you, don't believe it. But we are on the verge of World War III at any given point. We are on the verge of an alien invasion. We're on the verge of complete awareness and destruction of the deep state. All of these things are, right now coming to a head. So keep an eye out over the next couple of months, because it makes me wonder if some people have been saying September 23rd might be the big day. I don't know. I don't have any information on that date, but the general timing to me seems about right. I can guarantee you that definitely between now and September 23rd, the world is going to continue to heat up and things are going to continue to change. And we can have a shift on that if we're doing interdimensional meditation and shifting our consciousness. Every time, by the way, every time you do interdimensional meditation, the deep state loses a little more power. The narrative, the mainstream news, the big pharma, big tech, all of that loses power every time you do interdimensional meditation. So I recommend that you do that. Keep your eyes open for all of the videos that Dr. Greer is doing. He's doing a lot of interviews on different channels, so search around for him. He's revealing the truth you're not going to find anywhere else. I'm surprised it's even getting onto YouTube and not getting deleted. I personally stay away from it because I tried to talk about it once and my channel got shut down. So anyway, keep your eyes open for all that and stay informed on what's really going on behind the scenes. The best way to do that is to listen to the guy who's actually going and talking to congressmen and presidents behind closed doors about this, who is himself a contactee of actual extraterrestrials. That would be Dr. Greer. So go and binge watch as much as you can find on that, because like I said, I'm surprised that stuff isn't getting squashed. All right, that's it. Nothing else for me. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.